Okay. Well, good news. Especially, there's two good newses.
Okay.
One is that I feel better.
Okay.
That's good. It should be an easier class. And the second one is I figured out how to make this called broadcast, how I can tape it. So I seem to be where I need to be to tape now. So you'll have this this session available to you as a YouTube video. And I'm really glad that you're going to have this one available to you, especially as opposed to last week, because last week everything's just sort of already, hold on a second. This app is using features from a new version of the Google Talk plugin. If I disappear, hold on and I'll be back, because I keep on getting this message that it wants me to upgrade.
Okay.
Let's see. But tonight we're going to be sharing a lot of different URLs and stuff. Okay, great now. Okay, I'm going to get out of this video chat, but I'll be right back.
Well, hopefully one day I'll be going to something better.
I'm back. I have installed the plugin, and I think we're ready to go. If any of you are interested in this for your own teaching or for any purpose that you want to do a Google Hangout and record it and have it available as a YouTube video later, the process was that I couldn't just go into Hangouts as I always did before. I needed to go to a specific Google on air, or Hangouts on air link. So I had to change the link that I'm going to be using it for the rest of the time. So if you want details about that, let me know and I'll tell you later. But like I went to a frequently asked questions page and figured out where to go to start this up. So I'm going to put out the invitation again. We're missing a few people. before we get going, are there any questions or comments or anything about the work we've done so far in Project 1 or on the discussions or anything like that?
I just had a question on where were we supposed to turn them in at? On the assignments, the whole thing?
You should not be, yes, but you should not be doing any, you should not be turning in anything until week 5, until session number 5. So this is session number 3, and if the link is not yet active as far as submitting into the assignment box, then I will have it fixed by then. But today is session 3, and Wednesday will be session 4, so it'll be Monday, next Monday, session 5, that you'll actually be submitting Project 3. Project 1.
Is Project 1 going to be all 3 of the sections?
Yes. So by now you have finished part 1 and part 2, and I'm going to be showing you part 3 of Project 1 tonight. Does everybody understand that so far? As far as the submissions going and you wanting me to look at it, submit it to me as an attachment to an email, and I'll get back to you on that. Don't submit it into the actual submission box until session number 5.
Did you get the email that I sent already?
Mm-hmm. I got back to you on it earlier today.
Oh, okay. I haven't looked today.
Yeah. So, and you sent me the interviews, which looked awesome, but not the outline.
Right, the first part, or section 1.
Right.
Yeah, I was finishing that up right now.
Have you decided? Hopefully by now you've decided what you're going to do your unit.
I already decided and finished it up. It's done. I didn't.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so hold on. Danielle, Emily. Yvette, I hope I didn't give you my cold.
That
would be.
It wasn't. Well, clearly it wasn't you.
I know. Talk about a computer virus, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I feel much better, so hopefully you'll be feeling better as quickly as I am. Took me a couple days.
Yeah, I'm feeling better already. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so it looks like we're missing Christopher. 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to send out one more invitation. What you laughing about?
The comments about Rachel's Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh, that's what when I heard you laughing, I figured somebody had turned on the, what are they? Enhancements or so? Google Effects. Yeah, that's fun.
I was just thinking because the way she sits, the plates are sitting like right behind her. It's like perfect. She couldn't have done it any better.
And who's Ray? Yeah. Okay, I don't see ears. It's just the plates behind you, right? Okay, here's mine.
Oh.
Here. I'm the queen. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, the first thing we're going to do is look at the PowerPoint presentation, the one that we used at the beginning, and we're going to do the last part of it. So you can follow in yours if you want. There are parts, we're going to take turns reading this certain section, and so you'll be able to read it easier if you open it up, the PowerPoint, on your own screen, but I am going to go ahead and share my screen right now too. Okay, so it's that first PowerPoint presentation, which is it's the master PowerPoint that's in Module 1 of Canvas.
Excuse me.
Come on, screen share. Sometimes this happens when I say screen share and it just won't listen to me. There. Okay, so first of all, I know that I disappeared for you a minute there. I used to panic when I got kicked out, but now I realize, this is for you guys too, sometimes when things won't work, just quit and go back in and then it'll work. So now it's letting me share my screen. Before it wouldn't, and so I refreshed the screen. Kicked me out, and now I'm back. So now we're looking at week 3, which is really session 3, matching instructional content to learning styles, getting to know your kids. And this presentation is called If She Only Knew Me. And it's got some really, it's about this one kid here. Got some really important insights that we can get from this. They make you think of your own students. I know it does me. Different slides on here reminds me of different students that I have. So everybody can see my presentation if she only knew me? Somebody say yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so, and I can't see you, so I'm just going to call you by name to go ahead and read.
Oh, I found it.
If she only knew me. Oops, did I skip one? Okay. The introduction to this, between teacher and child, I have come to a frightening conclusion. I am the decisive element in the classroom. It's my personal approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a child's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, a child humanized or dehumanized. Dr. Hain-Gano. And this paragraph is something that helps me, and I hope will help you as far as stepping back and waiting a moment before responding, because I know that when I think of my teaching experience, there have been times where I think to myself, awesome, I handled that well. That went well. It could have been a nightmare and I handled it well. But there have also been situations in which I realized later that I allowed it to become a power struggle between me and a student. And I realized that there are different ways that I could have handled a certain situation rather than bringing it to that point. So this is kind of, I don't know, I look at this paragraph as sort of a counting to 10 and thinking before speaking or acting kind of thing. And especially because in my own case, I need to remember that that I'm more prepared, I'm more able to stop myself and think before I speak or think before I act than a child is going to be able to do. So it's just a good reminder. If she only knew that I had to get my little brother up and ready for school this morning, she wouldn't have to fuss at me for being late. And this makes me think of students not only that are late to school in the morning, but also sometimes we have students that are late being picked up in the afternoon, and I have heard people speak very harshly to them, and we need to realize that it's, you know, under most circumstances, unless they're high schoolers that can drive, they're at the mercy of their parents, whether they're getting them to the bus on time or driving them to school on time or whatever it is. And I know that I have students who get up, take care of themselves, leave the house, and come to school while their parents are still asleep. And I'm not saying this as a put down to parents. Some of those parents work all night. It's not the perfect situation, but it's definitely not going to help a child to berate them for being late when it's beyond their control. Okay, Danielle, can you read this one?
If she only knew that I didn't, hold on that, 1 second. If she only knew that I didn't get to eat supper last night, she wouldn't have taken the extra cereal that Chris gave me at breakfast. She said only one cereal for each student. That's the rule at this school.
Okay, and this is the rule at our school that people can only take one serving, but there's a couple of things. I know that some of our students, the breakfast and lunch they get at our school are the only real meals they're getting all day. We do have a box where students can put their extra apples or milks or string cheeses that are anything that's still in the package, and then other students are able to go up there and see if there's anything extra. But we also have a grant program at our school that the lunch ladies take around snack at like 9:30 in the morning, and they bring snacks around to all the class, and they're really healthy snacks, like pieces of apple or pieces of or a bunch of cherry tomatoes or pea pods, and it's really great, and the students do eat them. But I heard that there was a teacher at our school who was irritated by the fact that her instruction was being interrupted by this time to let them eat and have their snack, and she was withholding it and just keeping it in the bag and not giving it out. And this is a teacher who has never lived in the area where our students live, and I don't think she really understood the importance of them getting this snack. So, something to think of. Rachel, can you read this?
Excuse me.
That I had to watch my little brother last night while Mama was at the park with her friends. He wouldn't have punished me for not getting my homework done.
Okay. This scene in this picture is probably not one that's done anymore. I think we'd hear about it if we did. Yvette?
If she only knew that I liked to make stuff during science class, she would let us make rockets like Mrs. Bagan's class. Instead, we read about rockets from a book.
Okay, thank you. And this one, as you guys know by now, this really relates to multiple intelligences, the things that we've been discussing and talking or learning about. Jerry?
That her rules are as long as the lines at the city pool. She would make a shorter list that we could remember.
Okay.
I'm
That's
sorry,
probably
if she only knew.
What was that?
I forgot to say, if she only knew to begin the thing.
Oh, no, that's okay. This is probably common for a lot of kids. The longer the list, the wordier, the less they're going to pay attention to it. And we have to think about, can they read it? And, it may be something that we need to have class-made rules that they all agree on and actually discuss. There might be little icons that help them remember and understand them. Might be posting them in more than one language. But it's definitely something that we need to consider rather than it just being a wordy list of rules. And I'm looking at the rules, and the teacher is the boss, no talking, stay in your seat at all times. I think they made this list as an example for what not to do in this class. Okay, Emily?
If she only knew that my daddy left me and my mama when I was 2, she would stop telling me that she's going to call my daddy for a conference.
Okay. Now, this is a situation where, of course, a lot of our students are from single-parent homes. They may have divorced parents and be with one or the other, or taking turns. One might not be in their lives at all. I have students whose one of the parents is in prison, but what struck me about this personally was that in this past year and a half, 2 sets of students in our school lost their parent. Their parent died, and one of them was a long cancer that their mother had, and the other one was extremely sudden. It was a 3rd and a 4th grade students that we had, brother and sister, And their mother was very active in our school, always volunteering in their class, helping out around our school, helping teachers. So she was well known by everybody, the other teachers and parents and other kids in our school, everything. And we were there actually, it was one of our night programs, and we were at school, and all of a sudden we got word that she just collapsed at home, and it was her 4th grade son who called 911. It was some kind of heart problem, but she died right there on the spot. We had seen her that day. It was completely a shock to everybody. So that really hit all of us hard, and in the case of this slide, I've been really, I guess, on the point of kind of sometimes feeling like I'm walking on eggshells because I'm really so careful that I don't want to say anything to the students about, in general, to the classes, tell your parents about tonight's conference or whatever, you know, just the slightest little remark. It's not that the kids take it so hard, it's just that I'm afraid. I don't want to do that, you know. So I'm very careful not to say to the class, tell your mom this, or anything like that. So when we have a lot of students, I mean, it would be easier for me if I had just one class to keep track of, but I've got 800 students because I see all of them, so I'm thinking that in some cases it's better just to sort of develop a generic style of speaking. You know, your parents or guardians or whoever you live with or something. But it's definitely something to think about, be aware of. Okay, Josiah?
If she only knew that I get really upset when Leonard talks about my mama, her biggest rule would be no talking about other people's mamas.
Okay. And I've witnessed that myself. Kids, 3rd, 4th grade, boys especially, they get really upset. One ran over to me and said, "Teacher," he said, "your mama." I'm like, "Yeah, your mama what?" And that was enough. He was very angry. So, I don't know. Got to listen to them. Okay, if she only knew how much I love to draw, she would make me the class poster maker. Instead, she doesn't let me because my handwriting isn't so great. And that's one of those examples where there's that assumption, like we talked about last week, how a student may be able to demonstrate their learning much better in a mode that's not the one that we expect, or the one that we're asking for. And so we need to broaden our expectations of how they can demonstrate their understanding or their knowledge. Danielle?
If she only knew that I need to talk if I'm going to learn, she wouldn't send me to the principal's office so much. She says my talking is disruptive in the classroom. She's the only person talking. In my opinion, that's disruptive.
Okay. And this goes back to our verbal linguistic learners and how in the old days they probably suffered quite a lot being in classrooms where all day long they were expected just to keep their mouths shut, raise their hand if they needed to say something, and just listen. Rachel?
If she only knew that when she gets mad and screams at the class, it scares me. Last year, Mrs. Dooley never raised her voice at me. Mrs. Dooley was as quiet as a crook after midnight. When Mrs. Dooley talked, kids listened.
Okay. Yvette?
If she only knew that some of the boys are trying to get me to join their gang, she would help me say no.
Okay. And when you look at the age of this child, I know that a lot of people, you know, even in our school district think, oh, they're too young, they're not even dealing with that kind of thing. But a lot of our students have older brothers or sisters or cousins or aunts or uncles or even parents that are involved in gangs, and they definitely have that temptation or that challenge. Some of them do, that they need to be able to have someone to go to have a different alternative. Is Chris, are you out there yet? No, Chris?
I don't see him.
Okay, Jerry?
If she only knew how much I like to run, she would have told me about last week's track team sign up.
Okay. And Emily?
If she only knew how much I need my mentor here at school, she would let me see him more. He thinks I'm cool.
It would be nice to have more mentors in the schools. If she only knew, I knew stuff that she doesn't know. I know stuff that she doesn't know. I know where to get bus tokens. I know what time the city bus passes the school. I know the best place to buy a pop. I know what time the sprinkler comes on at the park. I know what it means to be dissed. I know how to live without electricity. I know how to entertain an entire room of people with my personality and humor. I know what churches have the best rummage sales. I know how to stay safe in my neighborhood. I know how to keep my clothes from being stolen at the laundromat. I know a lot more than she thinks I do. So this is, I know that a lot of teachers, people that I know, have no real personal understanding of these issues, and so it's hard to, sometimes it's easy to take for granted just that all the students in the class are your normal regular class, and you wouldn't imagine that they're dealing with some of these things like living without electricity, but this is the point. And not only that they have, some of our students have intelligences and ways that they can live successfully that we ourselves would have trouble being successful at if we were in the same environment or situation. So there's a matter of respecting the child's intelligence and where they're coming from. And my theory recognizes the unique nature of each individual learner, and developing lessons based on this theory requires a blend of the teacher's personal instruction style with the particular combination of student MI profiles present in any given class. So what types of things do you do to get to know your students, and what can you add to make this process more complete? Anybody want to share? After looking through that, if she only knew, and thinking about this, the idea of really getting to know our students personally, not just their multiple intelligence strengths, but the things that they might be dealing with in their lives, their backgrounds, their personal experiences that we could use when teaching them to make the lessons more relevant to them. Any ideas on things that you have done to reach your students or to get to know who they are?
I've definitely had students write responses to reflections, what challenges have you faced, just getting them to write kind of like a journal. So I've done that in a class before. Definitely learned a lot of things I wouldn't have found out if they just told me. Some students wouldn't tell you.
Great, and it's nice having record of it too, so that you've got it to look back on. Other ideas?
Mine is a little bit less formal. When I was taking the children out, when I was doing student teaching, I noticed some of them were wearing team sports jerseys. So I would just kind of discuss with them what team they were on. I think they had something like Friday Night Lights Live or something that was kind of like a Pop Warner style game that they played. So they were able to open up to me about that. It was a little less formal, but I just kind of try to notice what their little things like that, baseball caps that let you know what team they like, or
and it shows them that you care, that you're looking at them as human beings, not just another body in a chair that you're teaching at.
Yeah, I think that's like a lot of talking to them, not talking down to them. Trying to keep more personal with them, and then don't be so negative with them. And a lot of times they want to open up because they need someone to talk to. And just simply talking to them about stuff, any issue at all. But like you said, start with teams and stuff like that, and then you can find out a lot more from that. And then one of the things, like for me, because I do special ed, so I talk to a lot of the parents a lot of times, and getting to be on the good side of the parents is one of the most positive things to do, to find out what's going on in their kids' lives, because every one of those parents open up, explain about the hardships they're having, and they'll deal with how they're dealing with their kids at home and stuff like that.
That's important for them too, because with special education, they're probably dealing with some challenges, and it's really nice for your parents to know that they've got you to talk to and to understand, to know that you're there to help.
Yeah, I think if you just open up to them, let them know at any time, you know, call me anytime, drop a line, send a letter home with the kid or back to school, you know, and just show that you're willing to cooperate and be open and be willing to help them with anything they have is you know, it's a big step for them.
Yeah, it's huge, and parent-school partnerships have been shown over and over to be extremely important, just in general for all students, for their success in school. Is strong parent-teacher-school relationships are really helpful. And I think it makes it easier for everybody too, for parents, for teachers. Everybody feels like they've got a support for them.
Yeah, because a lot of times I think parents just look at the teachers and think that that's just a faceless person that's working with their kids every day, and
Right.
it's easy for them to hate them and be adversarial towards them. But once you get at first step and get to know them and talk to them and let them know that you have a face and that
Right.
you're willing to cooperate in any way they can, I think that does help a lot. It does go a long way with them.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
And then, I was going to say one other thing too about the one thing with the kid with the gangs about having them they're not being too young. I have 3 4th graders in my class or in one of my groups that they're already tattooed, they're already marked, 4th graders, and they're already marked for gang, and their parents are high up in the gang, so
Wow.
they basically have no choice. So, and the hard part is they're really sweet kids. I mean, I hate to see them go down that path too. So
What are their, like, when you've talked to them about it, what are their views on it, or their thoughts?
mostly right now, yeah, because right now they're 4th grade. They're really scared. I mean, and one of the kids he's a real big kid, but he's one of those really big kids that's like just scared of everything. You know, he's like he's a butterball is what he is.
Oh.
And but you can see him getting tougher as the school year went on. You can see him getting more and more in trouble. He's starting to become, the bully and everything else. So,
Yeah.
but his 2 cousins, they're like just little scrawny things, and they're afraid of the whole situation. They try to stay out of it as much as possible. But
What do the parents think about their child growing up to be a gangster?
well, one of them, like the dad's like they don't have a choice. Where we live and how we live, they're going to be in it. They don't want them to be in it, but it's where they're at. If they're not in it, they're going to get some repercussion from it. So basically, it's kind of like they feel like it's a safety net for them right now. And as long as they can keep them that, then they're going to keep them with it. So
yeah, gosh, that's awful.
Yeah, and they're they're very low cognitive. So it's easier for them to go and do to take stuff from other people and to steal than it is to try and become, to go the education route for them right now. So it's hard to work with them, but
I bet it must tear your heart out every day knowing that you're just,
sometimes it's just like you're just talking to a block wall because they're not gonna do anything.
They don't see an alternative. That's
not right now they don't, but just keep plugging with them every day, and hopefully that someday some light will come on and they'll see that there is an alternative to it, and then maybe choose that path. So
yeah,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, it's important, to be that person in their life that is that one little open window to something else.
And and they got 2 other teachers that are awesome with them too, that just love them to death and do all kinds of stuff for them. And like the little thing they talk about the rummage sales, they actually go around to the things on weekends because they don't have anything, and they're always getting them like jackets or shoes and stuff, and just kind of wait till school's out and they give it to them because they want them to you don't have to steal. There are people out there that will help you. So
yeah.
Hopefully
Well, you never know. That may stick, in their minds. They may remember that. You never know. We're just planting seeds.
Yeah.
Some of them will stick.
Hopefully it grows. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Okay. 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 I'm going to go back to screen share. If it'll let me there. Do it again. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to refresh and share my screen. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is showing some websites for technology integration, and I'm going to be going through some of these, showing you actually in real life, and some of them that are not on here. But when I give you the highlights for tonight, it'll have the list of all the URLs and apps that we look at tonight. That's what tonight is about. It's apps and URLs in education, and things that we can use in your teaching and in your unit, in your lesson plan and in your unit plan. There is a focus or encouragement to use mobile apps more and more, because these are becoming more and more common in our classrooms. Smartphones, tablets, iPads, they are cheaper than buying desktop computer systems, and not to mention the fact that a lot of our students have their own, bring your own device. They have their own devices that they can bring that we can actually utilize in the case of mobile apps. There are tons and tons of free apps out there that are high quality, really high quality. You're going to see some that they amazed me that they're actually free, and that will relate to so many content areas. Whatever content area you're picking for your unit, I suggest that you go to a couple of the websites that I show you. Well, searching the App Store, keywords, whatever your unit has to do with, but also appalicious.com, I'll show you. There are just tons of free apps. And even if you don't have tablets or iPads in your school right now, this was the case with me just a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden our school bought 60 iPad minis. And now I have heard that they've bought even more. So it's rapidly coming to pass that we'll have at least a set of 10 for each classroom. And even though that's not a full class set, there's a whole lot you can do with just 10 iPads in a classroom, because you can group your students to work in cooperative groups with them. And with smartphones, especially with middle school, high schoolers, even if only a few of the students have them, you can put them in groups and have them doing things with their smartphones, doing research, going on a scavenger hunt, scanning QR codes with them in groups of 3 or 4. So it's not necessary to have a whole class set to make really wonderful use of mobile apps in the classroom. Same thing with these websites. These are free websites that I'm going to show you to you. There are so many wonderful Web 2.0 tools out there that allow students to create their own work, to author things, and they can go to them on regular computers or on the tablets. So I'm going to show you several apps and several URLs, and then after I show you some, you are going to get into groups of, well, let's see, with this amount of people in this class, I'm just going to say pairs, because I think we have 6 in here right now unless Chris shows up. So you're going to get in pairs, and then you're going to get out of this Hangout. One of you will start a new Hangout, with just this one other person, and you'll be looking, or you can do it with Skype, or you can even just talk on your phones while you're both looking at your computers. But you're going to take about 15 minutes to share with each other, to search, look around on the internet for different URLs or apps that would work for your unit, or share ones that you know. I'd rather you go search and find some new ones that you didn't know of before. And so after that 15 minutes, we'll be meeting back again as a whole group and having you guys share what you found. Okay. So first I'll be showing you some, and then you guys will go out independently and find some. So this is looking forward after tonight. No forced connections, meaning pedagogy before technology. Use technology to enhance instruction and enhance learning, but not if the tool does not fit the job. Integration should occur naturally and be part of the regular learning day rather than as a special activity. I really agree with this with computers. For a long time in my school, even still now, people sometimes refer to me as the computer teacher. Teachers will refer to me as the computer teacher. And I say, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying I'm the pencil teacher. You know, everyone should be looking at the computers as the tools that our students are learning to use, to write, to read, to do math, whatever. The computers should be tools that all of our teachers are using, just like they use a pen. And so I'm trying to break that whole the concept as one person being the computer teacher, because trust me, people use that as a way not to have to deal with it themselves. So it should be everyone's job at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint right now. Okay, and the first one that I want to show you is just Symbaloo. Okay, this is Symbaloo, and let's see, I wish I could see you guys at the same time. It'll cause a problem. Are any of you already familiar with Symbaloo and use it?
I'm familiar. I don't use it a whole lot.
Okay, so just one of you. My principal shared Symbaloo with me several years ago, and I really like it. Was that Josiah talking?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm getting good at recognizing your voices. Josiah, would you say that you're a very visual learner or not?
I am a visual learner, yes.
You are, okay. See, I thought that maybe my love for this is because I'm a very visual learner, because what it is it's my bookmarks all arranged. I can change the color. I can change the background color of these tiles. I really find this so much easier to organize and look at than my bookmarks. Like when you just bookmark a page and you can see all these different folders that I have. With just regular bookmarking things, what I find is that I'll like save something, I'll favorite it, put a star, whatever, bookmark, and then the next time I want to go there, I don't remember where I've put it, and I end up just Googling it or typing in the URL myself. But with this, my home webmix are ones that I use a lot. I've color-coded them. I've made all green background for these, my like private accounts and things. Down here, the orange is more like research, reference materials. The pink here is social. The yellow ones over here are more like Web 2.0 tools. I've got my inspiration, Calvary Chapel there, blue. Extras only is sort of on its own. But you also see up here, I've got different tabs that I made. So this is my home tab, but then you've got higher education. So I've got just in general college stuff. APU's got its own tab there. WSD is Woodburn School District. So things that I will use with my students, family stuff, banking, financial. No, that's my son right there. I made him a little icon. Notice that you can change the background. Personally, I just like being able to customize things. Shopping. You can make as many tabs as you want. Also, you notice that there's these ones with the locks. I didn't create those. You can search for different, these are called web mixes, the whole thing that you're looking at. And when you find one that you really like that has a lot of stuff that you might use, you can follow that. You can link that and get to there. So this is somebody else's that they made, tools for education. You get the idea. Nice background. Sometimes, like, I don't know, I think this one's awfully busy. It's kind of overwhelming. They're using this. Symbaloo is one of the things that the Azusa Pacific creating websites in education, this is one of the requirements, is to create a Symbaloo board for your website that you create. And she's actually, the teacher of that class is actually the one who was talking about color coding the tiles, and I like that. I like being able to look at it and kind of get an idea right off the bat what I'm looking at. You can remove things. Now to create a tile, so if there's a website that I'm going to go to a lot, then what you do is you see these are empty. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to show you today is this. It's brand new. I just discovered it. Actually, I'm going to go to their website, Otis Plus. So I'm going to copy that link. I'm going back to Symbaloo, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in APU for right now. So I'm just going to click on a blank tile. This opens up. Create a tile. I'll go here and paste that link. It puts in a name here. I just like to keep it simple, so I'm just going to put Otis. Nice and big. I want to show the text, and I'll pick this little icon, and there. And there it is. Okay? So that's how to create the tiles. To get rid of them, you just click here. Oh, that takes me to it. You would just right-click on it, and you see you can delete it. You can edit it. You can give it a different background color. Okay? So basically what Symbaloo is a bookmark system, but I like it because it is just so big and just so visual. I like icons and pictures, and I like the tiles that are so nice and big for me to see. That may also have something to do with my not great eyesight, too. So that is Symbaloo. So I told you Otis is new. I will tell you right now that this is not even something that I'm very familiar with, but I'm going to throw it out there. If any of you would like to look at it, explore it when you go off for your 15 minutes, because I just discovered it actually on Facebook. I was just on Facebook, and up popped these different recommendations, suggestions for apps, and especially when they're for education and they're free, I'm interested. And so I decided to go ahead and download it, and that was today. And I have not looked at it very much, just this much. So I'm curious too. But basically, if you go to the features, I did look at this chart that compares the that's not the chart. It compares the features that it has with other sites like Class Dojo, which I like, that tracks. Here we go. There's the chart. Class Dojo just tracks behavior and attendance, and it's really cute and really easy. And I will show it to you. Socrative, I love Socrative. I've used it. It turns any smartphone or tablet into a clicker, which is awesome. The thing that's not so awesome to me, at least last year, I was in a classroom out in a trailer, out in the field, and our internet did not work our wireless didn't work very well out there, so it ended up just being frustrating because you've got to have a good wireless connection, or your students will just fall right off. When things are working well, very cool. Teacher creates quizzes. You can create them just right on the fly, and your students log in with a number, like a class number, and immediately they pop up, and there they are, and they're able to answer your questions or to give opinions or whatever in real time without any need for audience response systems or anything like that. Edmodo, okay, which we'll look at. A lot of people have used Edmodo. Schoolology, I actually have never heard of before, but here's Otis. And so it's got all these things: create and grade assessments, behavior tracking, polling, Google Drive integration, I love that, link materials to the Common Core. You guys and I should love that because that's something we're being held accountable for. And remember that Common Core standards are one of the 3 important focuses of this course. Built-in browser with split screen, I'll need to check that out, and easily share resources with educators. So that's pretty cool. So I've already joined, but I don't know much so far, except that it looks pretty cool, especially for free and free. Kind of amazing. So I'm going to close that for now, and there you can see it's in the iTunes App Store. I'm going to show you real quick Appalicious, just appalicious.com. When you are, oh no, Appalicious. When you are creating your lesson plan for Project 2, that is not what I mean. iPhone apps, okay. There we go. Both for your lesson plan and also for your unit plan, do this. Go to appalicious.com and click in here and search for apps and see what you can find, because it's going to add a lot of interest for your students to be able to have some apps to use that go along with your unit, something that they can work on independently or in groups. And it may just have some really cool stuff that you never thought about before. So, for instance, if I was teaching a unit on the solar system, I would just type in here solar system and see what there is to find. And there are tons of things. And let's see, the filter, you can limit it to free ones. Don't know why it's doing that to me. Okay. Even if sometimes I have purchased ones, that are a couple dollars, even if I'm not going to put them on all the iPads that the students are using, I'll put it on my own iPad and project it up on the screen. Some apps are useful, even if it's just one that I have. So whatever you're teaching, go to appalicious.com and search in there and see what kind of apps there are. And if they're free, you might just want to download them and check them out. You can always delete them if you don't like them or find them useful. Notice here also that it's for Apple operating system as well as Android. Okay? So that's Appalicious. And let's see. Look at my notes to see where to take you next. Please stop me if you have any questions about any of these. For the most part, I try to show you things that are free. I don't want to spend too much of my own money, and I'm sure you don't. But not only that, school districts sometimes, with our iPads, they said, here you go, but we're limited to downloading free apps. Okay, so I'm going to take you now to spellingcity.com and give you 5 minutes to play around with it yourselves after I show it to you. A couple different ones, I'm going to let you do that. So spellingcity.com, don't be fooled when you first see it. It's not only about spelling, and it's not only for little kids. Okay? When you first look at it, you're seeing things that look pretty cartoony, and you might think, oh, well, this is for elementary school, but the truth is that you can adapt this all the way up to any grade level you want, because you're able to put in your own word lists. So when you go here, you're going to see that there are teaching resources. You click here. There are paid items in here, but there are tons and tons of things that are free. So there's no need to sign up and pay for it. You're going to find plenty of things that you don't have to do that. And there's other websites too that are the same way. I'm going to show you Starfall later. Tons of wonderful free resources. Same thing with brainpop.com. There's going to be premium paid for, premium membership, but there's lots of things that you can get for free. So you see in here, language arts lessons. It's not just about spelling. They're just calling it spellingcity.com. Okay. If I go to home, and then looking for games. Let's see. Free activities. Play a game. Okay. Okay, so in spelling, there's word scrambles. Hang mouse is the demonstration one we're using for this course. Notice the pin it tag there. I'm also going to show you Pinterest and how it is used in education. Pinterest and other websites, even Facebook, repurposing is when we're using websites in other ways. It's making them educational tools. They don't just have to be about, social networks or people just taking silly pictures and sharing with their friends. Instagram is another one. There are many ways that we can use these apps and these URLs in education that really interest our learners because they love the tools in the first place, but we can just really take advantage of the things that these tools offer in education. So you can see you can pin that to a Pinterest board. But if you go to this game, let's see, I want to start it. Okay, I don't want to watch it, I want to play it. No. I think I need to play with this again too. Notice over here, here we go. Try hang mouse with the sample word list. This is what I was looking for, is to show you that the word lists go right up to 12th grade. Okay, so let's look at language arts words, and this is within this hang mouse game.
Hang mouse. Will the mouse get a snack, or will the cat? Choose a letter and find out.
Since I can't see you, I'm just going to ask right now, are y'all out there and you can all hear me and everything's going fine?
Yep, so far.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this could be sort of challenging. Pick the letters, let's see, language arts words. This could be hard.
L.
We have played this right to the end to see what would happen, and no, the mouse does not get eaten. No matter what you do, the mouse doesn't get eaten. I always go from vowels first.
I. O.
Let's see.
H.
Homophone? I bet
V.
it's no, something phone.
H.
M.
N.
Okay, let's see what happens. I think I'm going to get
F.
it.
D. Q.
Let's see.
D.
One guess.
R.
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 Hyperbole! Ha! I know what that's what's going
C.
to hyperbole.
V.
That's what it is, but I want to see what'll happen.
K.
Okay. He gets him by the tail. It's up to our imaginations to figure out the rest. So when you go home, notice that you can go to flashcards, teach me, spelling tests, vocabulary lists, and also right here you can enter your own word list. Looks like it'll just go up to 10 words. And so let's see, premium activities. Oh, I guess that's what it is. Free activities are spelling, teach me, and play a game. Premium activities, I'm thinking, are these ones. But I'm not sure. Literature, look at that, literature Fahrenheit 451.
Minstrel.
Oh, no, it's letting me play. I don't know.
Minstrel.
A big
So-
traveling singer.
The minstrel traveled from town to town, singing for his supper.
Okay. There you are. Okay. Okay, so there's spellingcity.com. Take 5 minutes and mess around with it. I think that spellingcity.com is a website that could be used in any topic, any unit, because they all have vocabulary words that go with them. So I'll come back. I'll start talking again at 9:50 or 5:53. Okay, guys. Link for the parent letter. Yeah, definitely. I like that too, Rachel. And that reminds me of another resource, what I told you about before, Class Dojo, which not only is very handy as an iPhone or iPad app, it's not necessary to have an iPhone or an iPad to use it. Same thing, you can print out letters for parents so they have their own personal login. See, you can see parents, students also, they can log in and see their record basically. And when I say record, that's the thing. Class Dojo is really cute, very cool, but it's only for classroom management. It's just behavior and attendance. And now I got to remember what, let me see. Sometimes I don't remember how I signed in. Let's see. There I am. Okay. Actually, since I'm showing this to you, welcome to the new Improved Class Dojo. Click on the button below to take a 30-second tour of the latest features. So I'm just going to show that to you. Since it's new to you and evidently there's stuff that's new to me. Okay, so you used it for high school. Yeah, Josiah, I know that even though they're cartoons and cute and funny, this really can be used with any grade too. Okay, so let's take a look at this tour. Well, see what's new. Just click on a class title below. Okay, I guess I lead myself through this. New smoother experience. See student reports here. Make edits to your class here. Messaging. Easily message parents right from Class Dojo. That's cool. That was the tour. That was a pretty short tour. Okay, so what you see here are the classes that I set up for all the kids that I see. I can see right here, you see how this teacher's icon is different than everybody else's? That's telling me that she actually made an account also. Okay, so I'm going to go to my ELD class, because that's who I used it with mostly, to show you what it's about. So here's my kids, and I'm going to think about more how I'm going to use the points, make some sort of positive reinforcement with the points. You can record attendance, but if you go to each and you see Lisa, that's me, because the first thing I did with all the classes was show them this and show them what it's used for and what I could do with it. So you see that there are 4 positive things that students could do that I could give them points for, and 4 negative things that they could have points deducted from them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my home screen and show you, I'm just going to use this demo class. I can edit the class itself. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is see where it says customize behaviors. Okay, you can actually add your own. Okay, change the icons. This is nicer than before because it had a whole bunch of behaviors and it wasn't so easy to change the icon. So you can change the icon, you can name it whatever you want. I don't know. Weight this behaviors, point bubbles. I like that too, optional. And so then you see that I've got another positive behavior. You can also delete the behaviors. Okay. Same thing with the needs work behavior. Same exact thing. You can edit it. I can change the icon. Doesn't have as many icons there, but I can change that. I can change what it says. Okay. And so there, and let's see, edit class, the students. So here's the students. I can add new students. Okay. Every time that you add a student's name, it just randomly pops up with a different avatar. This was hilarious for kinder and first grade. That in itself took up the entire 35 minutes that I had with them explaining how this worked, and also typing in their names and having them pop up, because it was just this hilarious fun for them to see what monster everybody would be. So you can take attendance, you can keep track of the behavior. Now when you go to reports for the class, okay, we don't have any reports for this day. Let's go back so we can get some behaviors. I'm going to say that he was being artistic and Hallie was unprepared, but then she was participating, and then Johnny was artistic and he was working really hard. Lisa was talking out of turn, and she was also off task. Okay, so now let's look at our reports. And there, very nice breakdown, which you can see you could use this with your whole class too, as far as looking at the whole thing. You can look at it as just for the day, for a week, whatever, for the month, and you could use this as your classroom reward strategy. I like this a lot better than you know, green and yellow and red marks or marbles in a jar, whatever. You could be thinking, okay, you're trying to earn your way to a class party or whatever kind of thing. Trend spotter, I've never seen that, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking if it's seeing some behaviors over and over again. Okay, go back. Donut. Okay, this is whole class, but let's see. Oh, here we go. I can also look at them by student. This is what a parent would see. If they log on, they're only going to see their own child. But this is really cool because in the whole period of time that they're looking at, whether it's a week or a month or whatever, it's showing them exactly what their child was doing on the particular day and time. And I love that. That could be just really handy for report card time, or for you know, parents that need that weekly. If you've got a student who's having difficulties with behavior and they have a daily plan or something, this makes it a lot easier than having to write things out on a piece of paper each time. You can just have this up and running on your computer or your iPad and be able to immediately click positives or negatives that will be in the report later. So that's it for Class Dojo. Are there any questions about Class Dojo? Questions?
No, it's pretty cool.
It's very cool, yeah. And I just discovered that a few months ago too and started using it. It's a little, I do have to figure out how to streamline it for me, because with having all the students in the school, it's a little overwhelming. I get busy and I don't keep track and look at the reports as I should. So maybe I'll just use it for one class or something. I'm going to figure out how to use it well. Or I may just abandon it altogether if I really like this new Otis thing that does everything. I have this open. This is a website, Extra Normal. Notice that there's no E in front of it. I used to use this with my students several years ago. It's really cool. Students love it, all grade levels, because what they do is they write their own scripts and they can choose characters and backgrounds and everything and make these little animated videos. Now, I need to tell you right now that this is not working right now, because for a while, first I loved Extra Normal. I was using it like crazy. Then I was teaching this class a few terms ago and went to the website, as I had done before with other terms, and all of a sudden Extra Normal was just gone. Wasn't even there. Now I go to it and I see, not on here, but the home screen. Okay, Extra Normal was recently acquired by Namal Limited. They're working hard to get you back making movies, and will be changing some of the things that many movie makers using Extra Normal found frustrating. So basically, it's been bought by a new company. It's not up and running yet, but this is a lot more than I saw last time I looked at it. So this gives me hope, because I really love this and my students love it. I already signed up to get their update when it's up and running again. You might want to do that, because it's definitely worthwhile. And to show you, to see if it is something that you're interested in, I'll give you an idea. So the characters are like animated like this, or kind of robot looking, kind of look like Legos. So let's take a look at this. This is what a finished thing would look like.
Take his pulse.
You take his pulse.
I don't touch sick people.
Would you look at this stuff? Amazing.
They're just x-rays, Cheeky.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Wow. Like X-ray vision. I feel like Superman.
Anything showing?
Everything is showing.
But do you see anything abnormal?
Just this tumor in the cranial region.
That's his brain.
We will have to remove it.
Okay. That gives you an idea of how the animation looks, at least with those little robot-y people. These little Hello Kitties.
Hello, boys and girls.
And welcome to the fun word of the day.
Today's word is pig.
Okay, this could be really fun, using even the teachers making things with for younger students. Now you notice the robot sounding voice. That's one of the things. You type in the words, and you can pick different accents and things, but sometimes it sounds really robotic, and sometimes, at least with the old version, we actually had to spell things wrong in order to make the sound like the real word. Otherwise, it was reading it phonetically, so like the word chocolate was chocolate or something, and it was real choppy and weird sounding. But I have a feeling that it's going to be very much improved with this. So that's Extra Normal. Another thing I'm going to show you is word clouds. Show you is Wordle. I am guessing that it's not going to work on this browser. This is something I want to tell you. First of all, you take a look. Are you all familiar with word clouds? You've seen them somewhere before?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of everywhere, in magazines, billboards, wherever. So making word clouds, the one thing before I show you this is Wordle. You need to install a plugin for it the first time, and even then, like, it won't work on Chrome on my Mac, but it'll work on, I don't know, Safari. I'll figure out the one that it works with. But you can't assume if it works on one machine, like a Mac, you might need a different browser if you're on a PC. It's just a little finicky, okay? So if I click Create My Own, first I'm going to see, we'll go. Okay, Java is required. Install the plugin, which I've done a million times. I'm going to open up Firefox instead. So while it's opening, let me let you know that when I first learned about Wordle and word clouds in general, I kind of thought of them as just sort of artistic, something that was fun for the students. They could make report covers with the words that they were using, or once, like, I had them type a whole bunch of words relating to their mothers, and they made word clouds to give their mothers for Mother's Day. But there are really some wonderful educational benefits to it that I've found since then. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Wikipedia. What you want to do is have a whole lot of text that you can copy and paste. So it could be your own text that you've used, or it can be from a website. Okay, so I'm going to type in sea otters because I love them. And you see there's all this text about sea otters. Now imagine that your students are doing a research report on sea otters. They can copy. Well, I'm just going to stick with this top part. This, see if it works on Firefox. So there's all the text. I click go. Come on. There it goes. Notice how long you have to wait sometimes, but it is going to work, I can see. Yes. I've run this a million times and it wants me to jump through all these hoops each time. Okay, so there is a word cloud about sea otters. Okay? Now what you can do with this, what your students can do with this, if they're doing it at computers, they can they can go to layout, or you can, and you can make it just all horizontal if you want to. Makes it easier to read. Okay, you can see the other possibilities. You can go to color. Now, when it comes to color, the dark background is really very beautiful, striking, but you would not want to do that if they were going to print them out and like use them as report covers because it's going to use a whole bunch of black ink and be wet. But this would be very fine as like in a web page or in a PowerPoint presentation. So if I open it in this window, I can save it. You could print it, save it as a PDF. You could take a screenshot of it. You can save it to the public gallery. Okay, whatever you want to do to save it. But the bottom line is, if you have your students copy and paste text from wherever it is that they've been doing their research, it could be National Geographic or Wikipedia or whatever, the beauty of this is they cannot copy full sentences. It eliminates even the possibility for plagiarism. What it's doing is giving them basically a word bank that will trigger their memories, and they can use this to make up their own sentences. So there's one wonderful educational way to use your word clouds, is to give them word banks that they can use to come up with their own sentences about the topic without any possibility of plagiarism. In addition to that, you see that sea and otter are the biggest words, and then you see other words, marine, range, sea, species, that are a little bit smaller but still quite big. The rule of thumb is that the more times a word is used, the bigger it's going to be. Okay? So knowing that, students can copy and paste a big chunk of text and then discuss and figure out what the main idea of that text is. They can also copy and paste their entire stories or reports that they've written themselves and find out if they are overusing any words too much. If they're coming out really huge, like let's say they wrote a story, a fictional story, and the word said is the biggest word in the whole word cloud, then that's going to tell you as the teacher and the students that they're using the word said too often. Their whole story is going to be he said, and then she said, and then they went and they said this or that. And so that will help them with their editing. Okay, so there's basically the ways that you can, unfortunately you have to actually go to the different fonts to see what they look like. And you can see the language choices. Remove common English words means that it's taking out, from this word cloud, it took out the words like the and of, stuff like that. Okay? So, and we are going to be using Wordle later in this class, a few classes from now. So please play with Wordle on your own and make sure that you can get it to work on one of your browsers and remember which one it is so that when we use it, that'll work. You can look at the gallery to see other people's ideas and get ideas for that. Now, the other word cloud user that I have used a lot, and I really do like it, is called Tagxedo. It's TAGXEDO.com. It's just another word cloud maker, but it's a bit fancier than Wordle. You could pick more. There's a bigger selection of shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Create. I've still got the Sea Otter text in my memory. Notice that they've got a little shop down here. You can actually make your word clouds into items, mugs and t-shirts and stuff. Okay, so when it first opens up, this is their sample one, and you can see that it is a globe, you know, of the Earth, and you can see the outline, the words. It's all sort of environmental, Mother Earth. Okay, I'm not sure if this is South America or Africa. But notice with Tagxedo, when you put your mouse over the words, they pop out. So you can save this and put it on you can embed it in a Word page and it will be live like this. Okay, you can print it out, but you know, for it to be live, it has to be embedded on a web page. But so what I'm going to do is click Load to put in my own text. Notice where it says web page, you can just type in the URL and it will automatically populate the Wordle with those words. So I'm clicking Submit. Okay, so there are my Sea Otter words. And then I can go to Shape and you can see all the selections that you have of shapes. Now it's not unlimited. I do wish that there were a sea otter. I think there's a dolphin. There's just a regular oval. Okay, so you get the idea. It's just a different word cloud maker. Students enjoy using these, and it's a really nice thing for your visual spatial learners. I would say also for your verbal linguistic learners. Okay, it could be used as a writing prompt. There's a lot of different ways that you could use this. So those are the two word cloud makers that we're looking at here. There is one called Word Salad that is an iPad app. I have not played with it too much. course, printing it out from there would be hard, but it can be used, like I said, as students using it to make it so they can't plagiarize. I'm going to stop for a second. Any? Let me see. I'm looking at all the chats now because I haven't been being able to see. Okay. Any questions or comments?
I can just see a lot of uses for this, the word banks for English especially. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to use them this year.
Excellent. Great. Okay, and remember, they can still be used artistically too. Students can type in whatever words they could, like when I had them do it about their mothers, I had them copy and paste. In fact, it was a wonderful way to teach younger students how to copy and paste, because I wanted to reinforce that skill, and so I had them type, mother, like put love, and then copy and paste that over and over and over again, and the more times they pasted it, the bigger that word would be in their word cloud. So it was kind of doing two things at once. The next website you're going to look at is readwritethink.org. So there's the website. readwritethink.org. This has got lots and many resources here. So I'm going to show you a couple of them, but mostly I just want you to know about this website so that you can search through it on your own, explore it on your own, especially in regard to your own grade level that you're teaching or planning to teach, and your own topics that you're focusing on. Notice again that it's K-12. Okay, go over here on the left-hand side, you see grade level. If you click more, you're going to see all of them. And the numbers afterwards are all the activities that are there for that particular grade level. Okay, I'll close that. Classroom resources, there's lesson plans. Student interactives is what I'm going to show you right now. Just know that there are other things too. Mobile apps I have not even looked at. I'm going to take a look at that because that's interesting. readwritethink.org is a very widely respected website in education. It's sponsored by the International Reading Association, but I think the mobile apps are something fairly new, at least I haven't seen before, so I'm going to want to explore them because this is a site that I trust. Okay, so you get the idea of the different, they've got themes here, so you can think about that with your, if you go to social studies and history, 331 different topics. There's Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. Okay, but I am going to show you the comic creator. Okay, so I'm going to click in here where it says search by keyword and type in comic. And let's see, page 1. It usually pops up much higher on the list. I'm going to go to the home page, I think, because I was searching around other places. There we go. Number 1. I put it in parentheses, by the way. There it is, comic creator. So click here. This is a wonderful tool, especially, well, for all students, but especially for your reluctant readers and writers. You notice K-12 because it's all authored by students. It's whatever level of reading and writing they're doing. Okay, so making this comic. What is the name of your cartoon? Okay, this is cartoon. Add a subtitle. I'm just going to put the creative. Okay. And then click next. Now you can select your template, how many panels you want for your comic strip. Okay, so it goes up to 6. I'm just going to pick 2 right now. It gives you your basic general background. Here you've got characters, speech bubbles, and objects. Okay, so I'm going to go to my characters, and you can click through and see the different characters that you have to choose from. Okay. Oh, I'm going backwards. There was more than I thought. There. Oh, I gotta drag it up there. Drag it up there. There you go. Okay. It's fairly limited in that I can't make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to, let's see, I'll put another guy with them. I keep on clicking and forgetting to put him in there. Okay, speech bubbles. Drag it up there. I can move him. Okay, and then, oh, here's objects. Okay, click in here. And then you can put your caption. And then, let's see. Oh, there's your different backgrounds. I'm going to stay in the desert. Okay, finish. Oh, no, I want to go to my next one. Back. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, I'm not going to go ahead and do it. You get the idea. Once you are done, click Finish, and then you can print it. Okay, and there you are. So you can print it out in class, and the student can have a copy of their own comic that they've created. Another idea I can think of this would be to save it as a PDF or take a screenshot, and you could make like a live online class newspaper, you know, and the kids, they can have their own comic page with each kid's comics right there in the page. So this could be a lot of fun. Use it just as creatively as you want. So I'm going to again give you 5 minutes to explore Read, Write, Think for now. Check out the classroom resources. There's other things here too, professional development videos, but for now I'm thinking stick here with the classroom resources like the student interactives or the lesson plans, and just get some ideas. So 5 minutes. I'll see you back at 6:32. And I'm still here if you want to type in a question or anything. Okay, guys. I'm here. Okay, the next one that I'm going to show. Oh, any questions, comments, anything? Rachel, I like your comment. Yeah, hopefully they'll even have more as they go along. So now I'm going to show you one that this is spend too much time here because it is definitely for younger students. Still sharing, good. Okay, but it's a wonderful site that I've used with my younger students for years, and it still amazes me that there are so many just free resources here. So it's a wonderful site, and it's free. So anyone that has young children in the home or preschool, kinder, first, even second grade, I would say, but also maybe extend that even farther if you've got English language learners. Not for your older ones because they would start thinking it was babyish, but even third grade, some of these activities are really great. So the ABCs, I use this all the time with my kinder and first. You go here, and all of the letters have activities that go with them. So this really teaches my little ones just how to click and go back and click to go forward. So here's a demonstration. Letter A.
A. A.
So I teach them that if something sparkles, that's what you want to click.
Ah.
So you've got your letter recognition and the phonics, the sound that it makes. It sparkles, so they click it.
Ah. Apple. Ah. Apples.
I make a little lesson right there about how adding an S to the end of words makes them plural.
Ah. Ah. Alligator. Ah. 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 Astronaut.
And this I really love here
Ah.
at the end.
Click and drag the letters to the correct basket.
So
Capital
A.
lowercase,
A.
okay, so they're learning the difference between capital and lowercase letters. They're also learning how to click, hold, and drag.
Ah. 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 Ah.
I'll do this first with them, and I'll have them tell me where to put them.
Ah. 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 Woohoo! That was great.
And then when you go on, takes you right back to the rest of the letters. So basically, those all do the same things. They can go back to the main index. As you go down, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going higher and higher in level. These are also some games they can play. Okay, so like to play.
Listen to the short you found.
Stop that. Learn to read. This is really great for first and second grade. All these activities that go with the short and long vowel sounds and your R-controlled vowels, your blends, lots there. Next level up, it's fun to read. This has just got a bunch of different activities, different areas. And then I'm reading our read aloud books that they can follow along with them.
Go away, cat.
Go away, cat, go away. It is not good for you to be here.
Okay, I really like how you can or the student can choose to hear the whole thing read to them or to read it themselves and just click on the words that they need help with. Okay. Let's see. If you go to the main index, if you see it says more, where is it? More. Okay, where you click more, this is where you're getting into some areas that are paid. So let's see. I know if we go to math, see grayed out items available to members. So I have not joined. Probably if I taught kinder first, I might. But anyway, you can. There's just so much there for them to play with anyway that. It started out originally as just language arts, so now they've added some math and other things too. So that is Starfall. Next one we're going to look at is Shepherd software. And you will see that there are activities and things for just about any topic area you could think of. And let's see. Looking for the, there we go. You can see that it's got activities all the way through college and adults. So again, don't be fooled when you see the top part that looks kind of elementary, middle school at the highest. It's not. Activities here go all the way to adults. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to give time here, but if you want to, when you're doing your 15 minutes of independent exploring, you might go back here and explore one of these areas in particular if it pertains to your grade level or your topic, and then share about what you saw. Let's see. This next one I'm going to want you to go to is multiplication.com. So here is, there's the website. So I want you to go ahead and follow me because I'm going to have you do something with me that's really fun and addicting, and I think you'll see that students will love it. It's not just multiplication either, but when you go to multiplication.com, you see down, let's see, well, it's got a link to IXL, all your different grade levels here. Okay, so you can get to IXL, which my students have played with there. But what I want to show you on here, on multiplication.com, up at the top, but underneath the tabs, you see it says multiplayer games. Click on multiplayer games, and then the first one in the list is Grand Prix Pro Multiplication. Actually, we're doing the second one. I'm not sure what the Pro version is. I'm not sure if that is something we have to pay for or something. Notice that there's also addition. Okay, but we're going to play the second one down where it says Grand Prix. So go ahead and go to the Grand Prix page. And before, don't click play yet because I want to show you what you can do with this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna click play. Now, you notice that when I click play, it says choose a fun and friendly name. It's already just randomly coming up with player 51. Okay, I teach my students not to use their real names. We don't want that on the internet, but they can make up something, and I would definitely either give your students numbers or names or have them make them up and record it so they've got the same ones each time. It gives you some sort of consistency and won't take as long. But so I'm going to go ahead and put screen name on a lot of things, and I'm going to click continue. Now, this right here, I see Bros 15's game. It disappeared. both of them. There, public, player 266's game. These are people out there in the public starting up these games. Okay? And I can join them if I want to because they're public. If I click on private, these people have started games, but they're private games, so I would only be able to play if they give me the password. Okay? Now I am going to create a game. Okay? And I'm going to make this a private game so only you guys can get in here. Now because I'm creating it, I'm going to be one of the players. Only 3 of you are going to be able to play against me because there's only 4 cars total. Okay? So whoever are the first 3 to log in, we're going to race each other by answering multiplication problems as quickly as we can and making our cars go around the track. The password will be EDUC522. So I'm creating the game. You see, there I am, Otter Girl in the blue, and I'm just waiting for the other cars to turn into you guys. And then we'll start the game. There's Juggernaut, player 470, 1 more of you. And see, even though I don't know who they are, I know it's you guys because you're the only ones that I gave the password to. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start the game. Here we go. You have to click on the answer at the bottom. So there you go. There's our places. Shows accuracy, rate, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty addicting. It works really well as a reward for like free time or something. You could have them playing it on computers, but you can also have them playing it with the interactive whiteboard and touching up there. So then you've got really kinesthetic learners going crazy there. They'll love that. So there are a whole bunch of other games on here too. There's all games, multiplayer games. Here's your game categories. There's just tons. And here's your grade levels. It's funny, when I clicked on the grade levels, it's taking me to other places, not just multiplication.com. So, I don't know, but you've got IXL math there. You got this one's taking us to Adapted Mind. So, multiplayer games, I guess this is for anybody. Any questions, comments? Chris. How did I cheat, Chris?
You probably bought the pro account.
I didn't.
So you get them all
I
right.
didn't. Not only that, I'm encumbered by multiplication challenges, and I'm using a touchpad on my Mac, which I hate. I'd much rather use a mouse any day. But I think it would be really fun on an interactive whiteboard. That would be fun. So, explore that later. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm ready to show you some apps. So I am going to start up my reflector. Get ready to show my iPad. Okay, can you guys see my iPad now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So notice I've got that Otis Teacher. I loaded that today. Don't really know what it does yet. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite apps that I use with my students. I would say this may be one of my all-time favorite ones, is this first one, C. Collins Big Cat. Now, when you type in C. Collins Big Cat, you'll find that there are 8 different books. I've just got one of them in my own iPad, but I've got all 8 of them loaded onto the students. I'm just amazed that this is free. And you will also see that it's very adaptable to students at different grade levels, depending on what you do with it. So the first thing you can do is just, students can just use it as a read-aloud book. You push read to me, and it's just being read by the narrator.
Written and illustrated by Tim Hopwood and read by me, Keith Gregson.
Let me turn up the sound. Okay, so I liked this. This is the first one I found just by searching around in the App Store and stuff. I liked it because of the movement, the animation, the leaves falling, the sound of the wind, and the owls. So you just slide it.
It was a cold, dark night, and the wind was blowing.
Okay, so that gives you an idea of what this book does. You can see at the bottom in the middle, it's just 13 pages. Okay, so that's one of the things that you can do is go through it, have the narrator read it to you. I'm going to push home. Notice that it says read by myself. If you click read by myself, then either the teacher or a student can click. I'm not going to do this because it's going to make my mirroring mess up, so I'm not going to do it. But notice that down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a mic for recording, and then in the middle, listen. So you click on the microphone, and it will allow you to record your voice, and then click stop, and then listen to it. And then it's the same on each page. Okay? So either the teacher or a student can read it aloud. So now this bumps it right up to a higher grade level right there, having students read it aloud. You could have your bigger students read it for your younger students to listen to. You could have this being used by book buddies, if you've got older kid classes paired up with kinder or first kids. And lastly, you could even have older kids that can speak a different language, translate it, and read it in that other language, so students are either able to read it there in English or hear what it's about in a different language. So that's thing number 2 that you can do with this book. Now I'm going to show you my favorite thing to do with this book that totally bumps it up any grade level, and this is Story Creator. My 4th and 5th, even 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders this last couple of months loved doing this so much that they didn't want to leave the writing workshop and go back to their classes. If you click in the middle, you see you can make a new book. Okay, so it's blank. It will go up to 12 pages max. First thing you want to do is go through your scenes. All the scenes go with the theme of the book. So all these scenes are scenes that could or would have been in the book that it's about, you know, the cold, dark night. But then also there's even some actual photographs they can pick from. Okay? So they just pick whatever scene they want. Okay? And then There's objects. Okay, so I can put a star up here. And notice that you can make things bigger or smaller. You can delete them by clicking that X. You can turn them around. Okay, so there's a tree. Okay, and then your characters. So I'm just going to put a frog down there. So the cool thing is that there's characters here that aren't even in the actual, that first book I showed you. There's the hedgehog and some of the other animals that are in that book, but there's even some other ones as well. Then you've got your text. Okay, you can move that where you want it, and then push the A and type. Okay, there's that. You've also got speech bubbles that you can put if you want. Okay, so you get the idea. Again, you can record your voice and read it out loud. Now, we were running out of time, and plus I knew that sometimes it got glitchy with the recording and listening. So my kids that I had making these storybooks, they didn't actually get around to recording their voices, but they made their own stories. And what I had them do was, in the past couple of months, before the end of school, I was teaching a unit on fables, so like Aesop's fables. And I had them do retellings of the tortoise and the hare. And I'm going to show you my website and the things that they created with it and other apps and things that we did. But after the retelling of the tortoise and the hare, their job was to create their own little fable. And what I did is I went through these books and I made a list on a chart of all the characters that were possible. So I just went to the character list and I just made a list on a poster, you know, like hedgehog, frog, owl, rabbit. So they knew that they had to pick characters that were listed, otherwise they weren't going to have the characters in the book that they would be able to create it. So they did this. They wrote it all out on notebook paper. They had their little moral of the story at the end. They did wonderful jobs on these. And then once they finished, I let them get the iPads and create their own little storybooks. So, I mean, these went up to 12 pages, and they did an awesome job with these. So, in a nutshell, they can create their own picture book. Now, as far, the one thing that I wish, at least I haven't figured it out yet, is once they create their own book, how can I access it? I would love if I could just, I have not figured out how to share this. I don't know what in the world that was. Like to embed it or anything, the actual book. So what I did, and what you're going to see when I show you the website, is I just got their iPads, they brought them to me when they were finished, and I took pictures of each screen with my phone, and then I cropped them and brought them into the pictures folder, and I just created slideshows. And I was able to then print out the books for the kids or put it on the website or whatever. So it was kind of a weird workaround, having to take pictures of them with my phone, and maybe someday I'll write this app a letter and say, please make there be a way that we could export this, because that would be awesome. So that's that. That's the big, this one is called Dark Night. It was a cold, dark night, but they're all the C. Collins books. So there's that. You notice that I've got my class dojo there. Okay, so I just plug that in sometimes right into the projector so they can see their names up there and see whatever I do with them. So there's that. There's dice that I can roll if I need to do something random like that. Oh, Class Dojo, I forgot to tell you one really wonderful thing with the Class Dojo. As I said before, you can take attendance and it tracks behavior. But the last thing that I used a lot was random picking. There's other apps that you can use, like Stick Pick, for that, but I really like it when I can just do several things with one app without having to get out and into other apps. And so way up at the top, if you just hit random, it'll pick random students for you. Okay, and then you can just cancel, and pick a different one or whatever. So you can use that for picking kids for different for questions or who to go first or whatever. Doceri is there in the middle. I'm not going to start that one because it's not something I can use right now with you, but I'll tell you it's amazing. It makes it so that I can control my computer from anywhere using my iPad. So I've got my main computer connected to the projector, but then I can actually walk around with the students and not be stuck behind the computer. I'm controlling it from my iPad. And that was, what was it? I paid for it, but not much. I think maybe $30. I don't know. It's definitely worth it to me, though, because it's just made things so much easier. There's Edmodo. There's a lot here that I'm just gonna that I'm trying to vet for next year, ones that I'll save and use. So let's see. Okay. Oh, for writing, this is another cool thing, especially because I didn't have a whole lab this last year, is Moleskine and also Note Shelf. I assigned different iPads to each student, and then they created their own books in here, so they would do their writing right in here. They could either type or write like with a pen. And so that way everything was being kept. There was less and less need for paper. Go away. It's not letting me. It wants me to go through the tour. Okay. Okay, so once in here, you could either write like a pen, or you could click here and type. See? So I was having students make their own stories in there too. So I really like that one. Moleskine was free. And the last thing I'm going to show you before I have you guys go on your own is Voki. Forgot to show you that before. Stop mirroring. There we go. These are avatars that students can create. Voki.com. And again, there is a paid subscription, but I have found no need to pay money. I've been able to do what I wanted with it without actually having to pay for it. It's just got some extra, I don't know. It extends the capability of it. Let's see, what did I log into it as? Okay, I will show you right now on my website what the Vokis look like. So I'm going to go to my website and show you that. Let's see. This is Weebly.com that I used to create the website. This is my Voki that I made right here. So Voki is an avatar maker, and you can go through it and pick to make your avatars look, as much like you as possible, or you can be a cartoon or whatever. Okay, and so then you can just, and I did this with my students too, they can record through a microphone, or you can dial a number and record right from your phone.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Rodriguez, and this is my webpage, which is a work in progress. Since there are always new things to learn about and use in the field of educational technology, I imagine that it will always be a work in progress. I've been an elementary school teacher since 1987 and a professor since 2010. I love teaching and I love learning. That might be my favorite hobby.
Okay, if I go to Lincoln Elementary School, okay, and I go to, you see I have the symboloo there for Lincoln stuff. Go to Fables and Folktales. Okay, so this is the unit that I created for teaching about the fables and folktales. And if you click Students' Work, and I need to make that live. Okay, first of all, Tortoise and the Hare. Okay, I told you about my student last time we talked who really struggles. This is his artwork that he did. So I told you he was really excited about his artwork being the main page for Tortoise and the Hare. I read the story to them, and then I also showed them all these different versions of the Tortoise and the Hare. And then students wrote their own retelling on notebook paper. Just from having heard it over and over and over again, they told it in their own words what happened. And then, when they were done, I had them read their retelling into my phone using the Auto Wrap app by Smool. Okay, so here are these wraps. At first, you see that these are the album covers that went with the beats that they chose. But I figured out a way, so it was kind of a discovering as I went along, I figured out how to make their artwork go with their wrap. Okay, so I'll give you an idea of it. Let's see, I want to play you one I know came out really good. Let's see.
Once there was a tortoise and a hare. The hare always thought that he was. Once there was a tortoise and a hare. The hare always thought that he was. Once there was a tortoise and a hare. The hare always thought that he was the most handsome and fastest, and he would say that the tortoise was so slow and boring. One day the tortoise was there suddenly reading, and the hare like always disturbing him, challenged the tortoise to race. So the next day they were there ready to race. Ready, set, go. And the hare was so ahead, he decided to rest and soon he fell asleep. The tortoise was way ahead of the hare. And when the hare woke up, the tortoise was there waiting in the finish line. And so the moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. Once there was a tortoise and a hare. The hare.
Okay, so they loved doing this, and the really wonderful thing was, like I would say over 85% of my students are English language learners. So there's that struggle to read and write in English. And then also students with lower reading levels, they are used to struggling. When they have to read out loud, they're not really enjoying it. But this, they read it out loud just one-on-one with me into my phone, and then it turned it into this cool rap. And if they're hesitating, you can't tell. And it was just really engaging for them. It was really a rewarding experience. So that was the Tortoise and the Hare retail wraps. So it included using the Auto Wrap app by Smool, and also just again taking pictures of their artwork with my phone, and then that was faster than scanning them, and then customizing the wraps, picking their pictures from my my photo gallery. So then, let's see. I want to get to their fables. This unit. Okay, I'm going to have to get to it another way. Hold on. think I made a link not working. So here's my pages. Fables unit, students. There we go. So students own fables. So this, The Horse and the Bird by Zoe, this is the pictures of the C. Collins cat book. This is another one of them called On the Farm. So she created her own fable here, Horse and the Bird. There was a nice, polite, caring horse. Her name was Debbie. And on the other hand, there was an impolite, uncaring bird, and her name was Cindy. One day, all the animals were eating lunch at the barn. Oops. Debbie was about to take a bite of her apple, but when Cindy came up, she started taking Debbie's apple. Everybody saw and everyone stopped eating. They walked away because they did not want it to happen to them. Cindy went to the farm where everybody was at and said, "I will be polite to you animals and be caring," but nobody believed her, including Debbie. Cindy was sad. The moral of the story is to be polite and caring to animals and people. So there, it gives you an idea. How cool is that for a student to be able to create a picture book that looks so fun like that? And that's using those C. Collins books. I think that's, let's see, research reports in here. Okay, not there yet. Okay. Yeah, Weebly is very nice and easy. I hear Wix is not too bad either. I haven't really tried that, but Weebly is really easy to use, very user-friendly, guides you through it, and you can do it for free. There's, like everything, there's premium features, like being able to put in slideshows and stuff if you get the premium version, but there's no need to have a lot of cool ability with it. Okay, so, well, thank you, Danielle, for the timer function for Dojo. I haven't used that. I'll see that. Yeah. Okay, so that gives you an idea of some of the URLs and apps that are out there. I'd like you guys to go off in pairs and sort of work together collaboratively, either in a Skype meeting or a Google Hangout of your own, or just with phones while looking at your web page. Remember to think about searching Applicious. Let me make sure I get the right one. I know one led to apple pies. When you're looking for apps, I really find that I find more by looking at applicious.com than I do by just searching the App Store. Okay, so there's that. And also remember, you might want to explore Otis. Do I have the web page for that? Teacher, otisplus.com. Or Shepherd Software, looking specifically at your grade level. I think it's that. Okay, so, okay, great. So Danielle and Rachel are going to work together. So you guys go ahead and hang up and get out of this Google Hangout, and then wait, hold on. Let's say it's almost 7:15. So let's meet back together as a group at 7:30. Okay. So just come this web. I'll keep this on. In fact, two of you could just stay here and work, and then other people just join back in. So Danielle and Rachel, you guys go ahead and get out, and you can get together with your phones. Okay, Yvette will stay. Who else wants to stay with Yvette? Okay, Josiah, Yvette and Josiah. Okay, and so we've got Jerry and Emily and Chris. Let's have one of you also stay here. So we've got one less person going out there. Okay, so Emily, Yvette and Emily, and let's see, what other two people would like to start a Skype or a Google Hangout on your own? We've got Jerry and
I'll call Jerry.
Jerry and Chris. Okay.
Yeah, I'll call you Jerry.
All right.
Okay, cool.
For the Google Hangout?
Chris, you're going to call him? Okay.
Yeah, I have your profile page. I'm looking at it. I'll figure it out.
Just click Start a Hangout and yeah, click him.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay. Okay, so everybody's with the group? Jerry, you go ahead and get out. He won't be able to invite you to a chat if you're still in here.
Okay, see you in the...
Okay. Okay, so you three go ahead and work here for a while, okay? Okay. I'm gonna turn off my camera and microphone, and I'll see you in 15. But I'll walk by and check if there's any questions or anything. You can type in the chat box, and I'll see it.
Are you guys going to be searching on a particular site? Do you have one in mind?
I guess I'm just gonna. I don't have any particular site in mind, but I'm just gonna try to Google stuff, I guess.
Okay.
Did one of you guys want to look at that Appalicious website?
I can. Yvette, do you want to do it, or I can?
So do you know exactly what we have to look for, or how many things that she wanted?
I think it's really just to get our feet wet and see what kind of apps we can find with the sources you mentioned here. But, I mean, if you guys find some good ones, we could just paste the links into the chat or something.
Okay. And then they're all going to come back into this one?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to look at my iPad, so I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, here we are, back together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing Rachel. Who was Rachel with? Danielle?
Yeah, we finished like 5 minutes ago.
I'm sure she'll pop in. I'm going to send out the invitation just in case.
Jerry's on his way. Or he said.
Okay, let's see. Let's just go through. I like that you guys have been typing in the chat, because what I'll do is I'll copy that and sift through it and make a list of the things that you guys shared there. So that'll be in the highlights when I'll send that tomorrow, the highlights, after I compile this. But Chris, go ahead and start. Tell us what you found.
So I looked more into Otis.
Make sure you unmute yourself.
Oh, I didn't unmute it. I did, right? You can hear me? Yeah, okay. All right, so thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much. All right.
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? You need to unmute me.
Wait, oh, wait. Okay, go ahead, talk now.
Alrighty.
Wow.
So.
No, that was me. That was totally silly.
No worries.
I had my volume turned down because you guys were talking, and I just, I just had it turned down. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I looked more into Otis. I thought, I looked more into it, and what I found was that it's pretty much strictly iPad, and it manages all the information into as far as the resources that they use in the classroom into a bookshelf, and it helps to cut down the amount of confusion that kids can get when they're exposed to the new technology of the iPads all at once, and being confused with wait how do I get back to this window? How do I go back to that window? And it organizes it all through Otis. So you can the teacher can add a bunch of resources if they want to based off specific websites or the apps that are installed on the iPad, so they can just go to Otis and click on wherever they need whatever resource they need, rather than have to go to Google and find it or something.
Okay. So are you saying, will it, like, think about all the apps that are on an iPad. Mm-hmm. Is it possible to create like different sections for different groups of students, like different classes? So
from what I saw, I think as a teacher you can do that, but in the student version they're only able to see whatever class they're signed up for, because there is a classes tab for teachers that you can click on.
Well, I'm definitely going to check this out, because one of the things that I have wanted for a long time was the ability to, you know how when you drag apps together in a folder on an iPad?
Yeah.
I wished that I could do that, but lock those folders and like password protect them. Because I've got kindergartners trying to play word chums, and they can't. Mm. They're all just mixed together, and all my different ages are trying to play the games where some of them are only for little kids and some of them are for big kids.
Mm. There's a really cool split screen thing too, where you can look at a resource or look at something and then do something else at the same time. So it splits the screen down the middle, and you've got the article online, and then on the other side you've got the test you're taking.
That's cool.
You can do both at once, and then there's also polling where you can give a question to the kids in real time, and they share what they think the answer is, or maybe it's an opinion-based question, and all the kids get to see the results as far as how many people answered yes and how many answered no, or anything like that. So it's really.
But they have to be connected, don't they? Their own iPad has to be connected to the net.
Yeah, they all have to be connected. They all have to be on iPads. I didn't see anything as far as hooking it up with smart boards or hooking them up with maybe like the clickers and stuff like that. I think it's just it's solely its own network, and it's all strictly iPads.
Okay. So, thank you for checking it out. Definitely is inspiring me to look into it further.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Danielle, how about you?
Yeah, I mainly, my topic is on the human body, on the digestive system, so I really wanted to find things for that. So here, I'm just gonna copy and paste the links when I talk about them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
I'm
so
sure
there's
there's
the first
lots
one.
of cool
It's
stuff.
called Anatomy Arcade, and it's really cool because you can use it on a computer, an iPad, a smartboard, and it's really, this one's effective because it's for kinesthetic and visual people, and it's just, it's a puzzle putting the pieces together of the digestive system. And then another one that goes along with that is on soft schools, which is a really common one.
Okay.
And the soft schools is a matching game, so they basically look at the digestive system, and this is just one of the things on there that I found. But for my unit, it's really good. So they match the part with the word, and then it says the word for them. So that's good for people who like to hear things.
Yeah.
And then the third one is the Shepherd software. And this is, I would use this as like a reteaching at the end of the lesson, because it basically just recaps everything with images. And then one of my favorite websites that I just learned about last year is called EDUC522. And so this, mainly you can do it on the iPad. And so if you haven't heard of it before, basically you can create a lesson, like the kids create a lesson for their classmates to see. So if they wanted to reteach the digestive system, they can draw on this website, and it's kind of like a PowerPoint, but they can record their voices, and they can do interactive things like draw, and the people watching can see the drawing going on, or if they're pointing to things and labeling, they can see that, and then they can post it on the internet for whoever's registered to see.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of like the reverse teaching.
I love that idea. Cool. Did you have a chance to check out the digestion song that I sent you from that teacher?
Oh yeah. So another one is I did. I like that one, and then
I didn't listen to the song. I just knew of the guy and figured he probably had a digestion song in there.
No, yeah, I've heard it before. It's good. And then thekidshealth.org is what I always use for anything having to do with the human body. This is 5th grade, but I always start off with a video of like the part that they're doing, and then they can listen to it every time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jerry, you're up. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. Emily's up. Sorry, I'm just going through the line, and it was clicked on her, so I didn't see her.
Oh, well, I just basically, I talked about 2 apps. Well, this one wasn't necessarily educational, but I did want to share it with the class. It's called Apps Gone Free, and basically, it's just an app that you download onto your phone that you go to every day that has all these random apps that, cost anything from 99 cents to, like, I've seen up to $30, and it's totally free. So you have to get it within a certain time frame. I, learned about this in one of my other classes. A student, she kind of mentioned it, and it's really cool because I do check it out every day, and because you're saving,
I love it.
Yeah, you're saving so much money. So that's just kind of one thing I did want to kind of share with the class in case ever heard about it.
No,
but
it's definitely educational because we're always looking for good apps that are free.
That's
and
true.
There are some good ones I found. And when it's like that, free, you can just download it, check it out. You don't like it, boom, throw it away. No loss.
Exactly. And another website that I found this to be really helpful is it's actually called Paper 53, and it's basically kind of like a journal on your iPad, on your computer, on your phone. What you can do is you can like sketch, and then you can like use like watercolors, and basically whatever you end up drawing, you can use it in like a PowerPoint presentation, keynote presentation. You can put it in video slides. So it's really useful. Yeah, I kind of wrote in my group today to just Google image Paper 53, and it shows you all the different ways, and you can even type in like educational use for Paper 53 or something like that, and it just shows you like students can go to it and use it to express themselves through that. So that's
that sounds neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jerry.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Don't yell at me now. Well, I was kind of looking through the apps there, and actually I remembered one app that I'd gotten for when I was doing history for my 4th and 5th graders last year, but now I can't find it. But it was called World Book: This Day in History, and you could pick any day in the any day of the year, and you could click on it, and it would tell you, it would give you historical facts about that day of what happened in different years of that day. It had photos with when after the poll. It would have,
World Book?
hold on a second. Yeah, it's called World Book: This Day in History.
Okay.
And it's free. And it has speeches on there. It has speeches from presidents. The national anthems of different countries are on there.
Cool.
It's kind of like it's kind of hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff. It was really cool because some of the kids would start pushing the buttons and just get lost in it, and you have to pull them out of it because it was like, oh wait a minute, what's this country's national anthem? And some of the national anthems were pretty cool, and some of them were pretty funky. So they were like, kind of loving that one.
Yeah.
And then another app that was actually when we just started talking with Christopher, he was telling me that about something about geography there, and then an app called Stack the States.
Okay.
And it's for the United States, for geography for the United States, but it shows like a picture of a certain state, and it gives you questions about it, and you have to, once you guess once you guess the state, you're able to stack them up on top of each other to a certain line. Once you got to a certain line on your tablet there, then you would win and go to the next round. And it was kind of cool because, like Chris was saying, it's like kids today don't know nothing about geography. They have no idea about states.
I was going to say I should play with it. I like studying my states because I certainly can't for sure name all 50 and where they are.
Yeah, and I got addicted because it's like they ask you questions, it's like state bird or state flag, and you name it, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, was that flag? Oh my, and it was kind of addicting. It was like a simple thing you think in your mind. Oh, I know this is going to be easy. It's the United States. How can I not know it?
Yeah.
But then they start doing some of the states back east and up north there, and you're like, wow, the shapes kind of throw you.
Yeah.
And that was
especially east where they're so tiny.
Yeah, northeast up there, you got Rhode Island, Delaware, Massachusetts, and all those things are like, and you're like, that's a state, and it's crazy. So it was a fun one. And they actually have 2 versions of that one. One of the versions is free, and the other version is $1.99.
What's the difference?
It was just more in depth with the dollar one. Had more countries, not more countries, but more questions on the state. It's kind of like.
But still all 50, or all 50 still in the free one?
Yeah, they were all in the free one.
Okay, good.
I don't know for sure because I never played the dollar one. I'm too cheap on that. So.
Okay. I know. I try not to spend my dollar unless it's something really special.
Yeah. Well, I almost did it, but then I was like, it was almost into the school year, and we had gone on to something else. So I was like, it's something in the back of my mind. So when school year starts, we'll have that one, and then I'll get it anyway. So. Right.
Okay. Thank you. Josiah, how about you?
So I started off looking on Appalicious, and I don't know why, but I was having issues with the program working properly. I was able to get a couple sites to show up, and then it started just not allowing me to search anymore. But I did find one related to vocabulary called Vocabulary Build. It's a free app. I didn't get to explore it extensively, but I saw it was free, and I'm always looking for good vocabulary websites and such for English.
Nice. I think the site's having trouble because I was having trouble with it too.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'll have to try again another day.
Yeah.
And then I did just know about another program called Powtoon, and it allows you to create video presentations with like animations.
How?
So
P-O-W?
Yeah, like P-O-W-T-O-O-N.
Okay.
And it allows students to create presentations using animations. It's kind of similar to other ideas that you were showing earlier, but I just heard about it recently, so I used that kind of as a starting point. I found another website called Group Zap, and you can have students post Post-its on a website that lasts for a week long, so they could collaborate together on maybe a team brainstorm or something. So that's Group Zap. And what was the last one? Oh, well, another site that, I guess it's also an app if you can find it free. Occasionally it's on what's it called? The website we were just talking about with the free apps. Anyway, it was posted a few weeks back. TED Talks with subtitles.
Oh.
I find sometimes like to use TED Talks to get students discussing certain topics, and they're always really well done, get them thinking. And with the subtitles, it's nice for your EL students,
Yeah.
so they can follow along. And it'll also give you translations as well. And then the last one is also vocabulary related. It's been around forever. Freerice.com. It's like if you test your cell phone vocabulary, you can actually donate rice to communities that are hungry.
Neat.
So they don't just have vocabulary; they also have other subjects. You can test yourself on famous art or like science or Greek.
That's cool. I've never heard of that.
So another one.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Rachel. How about you?
Okay, so I posted them in the chat too, so if you want to look at them, but.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'll go through them. Just anything you want to mention or that you saw that was cool?
Yeah, the raskids.com is really neat for comprehension, and it's really cool for the younger kids because there's the other one that you talked about. I don't remember which one, but you go on there and they can, I think so, and they can pick stories and they can read them and then they listen to them and then they take a comprehension quiz at the end and then they can track their progress, and it actually tracks the levels of which they can read at so that they can continue to keep moving forward. And then really cool, and their login is really easy.
And so teachers can see the whole, like the progress of all the students in their class?
Yeah, like the teacher can log on and then see the whole class on there, or she can, she can click on each student. It's really neat. And the kids love it because the stories are fun and there's pictures, and so it's pretty cool. And then coolmath.com, that's more for the upper grades, but it's really neat. There's like games on there for even like pre-calculus and calculus, but it doesn't really apply to me, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Is it coolmath.com or is it coolmathgames.com?
I think it's
I'm asking because my kids play Cool Math Games, and I'm not sure if this is something different or not.
I'm pretty sure it's coolmath.com, but it might be coolmathgames.com.
Okay.
I checked, and I put coolmath.com, so I don't know, but
cool. It's a different one.
And then one that I found was called funbrain.com, and it has all subjects with games and for each grade level K through 8. And it there's like baseball, math, and then they have like comics where the kids can just straight read, which I know in first grade we stressed that they just need to read something. So I think that's really for them just to be able to read comics, and it's not, you could pick different grade levels, and I think it was just math and reading. But it was really
sounds cool. Sounds like good things to explore.
Yeah, they're neat.
And Yvette, you're muted, huh?
Sorry about that. Okay. I feel like I'm like the living example of why your apps or the things that you showed us today are good to use, because I tried using my apps in my my Mac computer and came up with nothing. And then I used the Appalicious and did come up with a lot of things. Used the filter like that, and then of course I jinxed it, and then it stopped working.
It's them, not us.
Yeah, so then I looked at my bookmarks because I know that I had a lot of things that that I had saved, and I'm finding nothing. But one thing that I ended up having to just Google it. Just wanted to share it with you. It's something called News and Levels, or let's see if I have the other window open. But what it is that you're reading the children can read the news at 3 different levels, which is good for English language learners or just students who are struggling with reading, so that they can have the same material that other people have, and so it's differentiated.
Like right now? Current events type.
Yes. I think it's current. So it's relatively new. So it'd be good for current events, history.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you type it? What is it? News.
News and levels. Let me see. I had the window open just now because I ended up having to find it. As soon as I find it, I'll just type it in.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, great. I want to check that out. That sounds great. Okay, well, we're just about done. Just really quick. I don't want you guys to stress about it too much, but start thinking about it when I show it to you now. I'm going to just give you a look at part 3 of Project 1 and tell you what you're going to do. I'll give you more detail about it on Wednesday, and then you'll have next weekend to work on it. It's not as overwhelming as it may look at first. So let me bring that up. There it is. Okay. So you're looking at one of my previous students. No, you're not. I have to share my screen. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. There. Okay. So you can all see the very colorful section 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So section 3, this is called the Bloom-Gardner grid. When you look at it, it's stretched out real long because the student already filled in the cells. When you first see it, you'll be able to see all 8 of the Gardner intelligences going down the left-hand side, the left column. So you see that the first one listed here is verbal linguistic. This is actually showing more than one page. Okay, so you got verbal linguistic. Second one going down is interpersonal. Going across the top of the columns are your different levels of Bloom's taxonomy, the different increasingly advanced cognitive levels. So starting with simple remembering, memorization activities, on up to understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and finally students creating some project based on the knowledge that they've gained about the topic, beginning with the earlier levels of Bloom's. So what you're going to do is, it's just sort of a brainstorming exercise. Every one of these cells is going to be filled in with an activity, something that you could do to address, for instance, I'm just going to look at the verbal linguistic for right now. So each one of these activities is going to address the verbal linguistic learner at increasingly higher levels of cognition. But they don't have to be connected to each other. This whole entire grid can be random activities if you want. They don't even have to go with your final unit. This is just sort of something to get you really thinking about your MIs and the different levels of Bloom's and brainstorming things that you could do to address all of your students and at the increasingly higher cognitive levels. So you can relate it to your topic if you want to, because then you're going to be able to, you're kind of going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If you do that, you can use some of those activities in your final unit. But it would be overwhelming to think that you had to fill in every one of these cells based on, just for your unit, that it had to go with that topic. So that is, you don't have to. Also, although it looks like an awful lot of information, you don't have to create completely new activities for every single cell. You can tweak them to make them fit like each multiple intelligence. So for example, when we look at verbal linguistic, remembering, students will read aloud an excerpt of a science text in ebook format about circulatory systems and identify and highlight the key terms and their definitions in the ebook text. Okay, so that's just basic reading, identifying, highlighting. Okay, now I'm not going to look at the other ones right now. I'm just going to look at that and go, okay, all you would have to do is say students will read aloud to each other in pairs, and that would make it interpersonal. You could put like the same activity in the interpersonal column just by adding that they're doing it together in pairs. You can just tweak them. I don't want to see everything copied and pasted, but on the other hand, you don't have to do something completely different in each cell. In each cell, you will highlight 3 things. You'll highlight the Bloom's taxonomy words in green, the technology words in red, and the multiple intelligence words in purple. So when you see read aloud, you know that reading is a verbal linguistic skill, and so that's why that's purple. The ebook here was the technology, and identifying and highlighting is the Bloom's level words. And I'm also going to send you lists of verbs, Bloom's level verbs, because that's going to help you come up with these activities. They've got lists on the internet of all the verbs at the different higher levels of Bloom's, and you can just start right with that. So like to identify is a remembering level Bloom's word. Okay? I will send you, I think I'm going to end with that right now. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I'm going to send you those resources. There's a Bloom's Modern Wheel, which actually I think I have that open somewhere. Let me close this. Bloom's Wheel. The Modern Wheel shows iPad apps that can be used to address the different levels of Bloom's. So that also is really handy. And now it's taking its time to open up. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that I will send you that information as well as this example. Am I frozen? No. Let you just have some time to digest that. It's not as overwhelming as it looks. Okay, and what the cool thing about it is when you're done with it, you're going to have this like a toolbox of activities that you can look and go, oh, that's a good activity for verbal linguistic learners. And in the future, you can take all those activities in the chart and tweak them to whatever unit you may be teaching in the future, and have right at your fingertips these activities that could be used for each of the different 8 multiple intelligences and at each of the levels of Bloom's. So, without going into further detail, any quick questions or concerns about that?
For the discussion thread for this, what do you expect? Like, what if we just filled out the verbal linguistic with all 3 types of things and posted that for like an idea?
That's fine.
Okay.
You certainly are not going to post like the whole chart or anything. You're just basically bumping ideas off of each other and giving each other ideas. Remember to also look for your mirrors and your foils, especially you guys if you are getting stuck in certain areas of the grid. Like if you're, let's just say you're not a very musical learner and so you're stuck there, look for the people that are and ask for ideas. It's okay. This is collaboration. This isn't cheating if you're giving each other ideas. It's collaboration. Okay? So we'll discuss it more in depth on Wednesday, and hopefully after that you'll have a much better understanding of what's expected there. Also, on Wednesday, I'm going to be letting you go early because it's field trip night. You're going to be visiting 3 different places on your own and writing about that, making observations. You don't have to visit all 3 places in that one night, but I will let you off, like, we'll probably be together for an hour, hour and a half max. And then I'll let you go because part of that time, that class time, you can use to get on with going to your little field trip places. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. This was one of my favorite nights. I love sharing these ideas. I always get new ones too. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and got some new ideas to explore.
Yes, very good. It was good stuff to have.
Cool. You guys have a great night.
See you Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody. See you Wednesday. Thanks. Almost done, babe. Yes. Oh, no. Party every day. Mm. It's a good group.
That's good. I know. You're very encouraging.
Good.
Which is good. Because they're learning to be. They're teachers already, right? Or they're learning to be. Are they like in the next?
Some already
phase?
are.
So this is like advanced training for them.
Mm-hmm. Working on their masters.
Do you need this receipt from the winery?
No.
So that case.